welcome inside Getting Loose with Leon, motor racing news without access. You got the big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside you. It is 7 o'clock in the East on Thursday, October 30th, year of our Lord, 2025. It is a pleasure to be back here and having this show up and running as we are getting ready for NASCAR Championship Weekend, heading to Phoenix Raceway coming up on Sunday on NBC. None of this USA stuff, none of this streaming stuff. We're on the big network there, NBC on Sunday, 3 o'clock. Championship 4, of course. And man, do we have a great Championship 4. You like Toyota? We got you. You like Chevrolet? We got you. You like Ford? Well, not so much. But yeah, we got the two Hendrick Chevrolets and Kyle Larson and William Byron. On the other side of things, you got the two Gibbs Toyotas in Chase Briscoe and also Denny Hamlin. Denny looking for that elusive first championship here. Should be an absolutely great one. I'm excited to break this one down and get some picks. We've seen some movement on the line this afternoon from when I put a couple things in to where they are now. And we'll go over that a little bit too. Also, on this same network of podcasts, on the Let's Not Do This podcast network, don't forget we have the Let's Not Do This podcast and also Doing Lines, which is our college football and NFL pick show, which airs Saturday morning right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble as well. And of course, coming up here in about an hour, 15 minutes, Thursday night football, you got the Ravens and you got the Dolphins. We gave our picks for that yesterday on the Let's Not Do This podcast. So if you missed that out, go and check it out. All the links are there on the socials and get those picks. And one play I have for you right now before we get into the NASCAR picks, wanted to keep an eye out for longest rush, Lamar Jackson. That line has moved a little bit. I got it earlier today for his longest rush at 14 yards. I think it's gone up to like 15 and a half now. If you can get that somewhere still at 14, you might want to get on that. But yeah, let's get into it. We're here to talk racing, not NFL. So here we go. As we mentioned, NASCAR is the season finale, championship weekend at Phoenix. I said series finale. It's not series finale. Series championship. There we go. At Phoenix, 3 o'clock Sunday on NBC. Let's get into the picks here. I'm really excited for this race. Of course, everyone was talking about, going into the playoffs. Roush, these guys, Penske, these guys are going to be there. The Penske cars, they dominated Phoenix. The Fords are so great there. Penske, we don't have a Ford. We don't have a Penske car there anywhere in the mix here. But that's still, there still is a race outside the four guys vying for a championship. There still are, a bunch of other guys trying to close their season off on a good note. And I'm going to go start off this week with my long shot pick first. My long shot is Joey Logano. This is a guy that's usually dominant here at Phoenix. And it's funny. He's got the two championships in his career. Both of those times, he's won this race here at Phoenix. The other two times in the season finale where he's not been in the playoff mix, he doesn't win the race and he's finished outside the top 10. So it's feast or famine for the 22 team here at Phoenix, it seems like. But that being said, I think everyone in that organization with Penske has something to prove. I think they really feel like they dropped the ball. The way these tracks set up, these are tracks they're usually good at. It just didn't work out. They went from everyone saying, "Oh my God, they're going to get all their drivers in," to they didn't get a single driver in to the final race here. So I really think that whole organization is going to have something to prove. And I really like Joey Logano. You give me Joey Logano at plus 1,200 on the track like this, I'm going to take it every single day of the week. So Joey Logano plus 1,200, my long shot of the week this week. Moving on up, Daniel Suarez, another long shot here for top 10. It's his last race with Trackhouse. Of course, we saw him replacing Justin Haley there, making the move over to Spire Motorsports next year, driving the number 7. It's got to take a weight off of his shoulder, knowing that he's got a ride, he's locked up, he's somewhere to go next year, and he wants to close things out with his organization, with a good running here, with a good showing. And this is a track that historically it's been really good for Daniel Suarez. He has run well here. And so I think he really wants to close things out. He's been 11th or better in 3 of the last 7 next gen races here. He's been solid here. So I like him. And this line actually moved. Earlier today, this line was at plus 1100. The money came the other way. It actually has gone up now to plus 1300. So you want to take a flyer on Daniel Suarez getting a top 10 in this last race for Trackhouse and wanting to show off his new bosses. Hey, this is what you're getting. This is what I can do next year with Spire. And we'll see how that equipment works. Of course, the running those Chevrolet scheme and everything. We'll see how that works. But yeah, plus 1300. I think that's worth a flyer on Daniel Suarez for a top 10. Ross Chastain, the line moved on this one. Earlier today, when I put this in, let me go and check my notes here. This moved from plus 130. I got Ross Chastain earlier today when I was putting together this show. I got it on FanDuel Sportsbook at plus 130. The money has come in. So what does that tell you? There's value there right now. Get it in before it moves any further. You can get him right now at minus 105 for a top 10 here at Phoenix. This is a guy, of course, he won the 2023 season finale here. He spoiled that championship for those guys vying for the title. This is his third best finish in terms of tracks here in the next gen era. Averages 9.4 for his finishing position here. And he's finished inside the top 3 in both 2022 Phoenix events here. So this is a guy that has run well here. He's consistent at Phoenix. I loved it earlier when it was at plus money. That money obviously has come in. That line has moved. So you can get him right now at minus 105 on FanDuel. So get in while the getting's good there. Excuse me, battling a little winter illness there. But we play through. We persevere. Chase Briscoe, one of the championship 4 here. You can get him at minus 105 for a top 10 for Chase Briscoe and that number 19 team. A phenomenal year, by the way. And this guy has been the most consistent driver throughout these playoffs, coming over from Gibbs and seeing what this guy can do in quality equipment. This is the guy year in and year out, I think, for a while. It's going to be in this, championship 4 mix or get into the playoffs at least. He's going to be, a danger for a while. Great driver. This is a guy that's won here before in spring of 22. That was actually his first career Cup Series win there. He's got the most top 5s among the championship 4 this season. His average finish at this track is a little suspect. It is 18.4, and this is his first time in the championship 4. So you got to wonder, just handling that, all the interviews and friends and family in town, the extra tickets, and just the extra scrutiny, and also in the back of your mind. With this Gibbs team, we've seen the mechanical issues that they've had over various things the last few weeks. You got to wonder, does that play any role in there too, in the back of your mind? Can you got to worry about the other drivers, you got to worry about yourself, and then you don't want to have to worry about your equipment as well. So will that be in the back of his mind? Hopefully not. Hopefully they have a good showing. I don't think he's going to win this race. I don't think he's going to win this championship, but I do like him for a top 5 this week at minus 105. You can get that on the DraftKings Sportsbook right now. All right, moving on over. Denny Hamlin, top 3 performance. You can get him at plus 120 right now on DraftKings. Plus 120 for Denny Hamlin on DraftKings. And listen, it doesn't need to be said. This guy's been phenomenal this year. He's got the 6 wins. He got the Martinsville monkey off his back. That's one of his hometown tracks. Obviously, a Virginia guy, hadn't won there in like 10 years. And this guy is like 20 years in, and he's never won a championship in this sport. He's probably the greatest that has never won a championship. And I believe at 44 years old, if he gets this championship win, he'll be the oldest driver since Benny Parsons in 1983 to come away with a Cup Series title here. Listen, this is a track that Denny has run well at in the past, but we know that he's been snake bit before. Time and time again, we've seen him in this position. You go back to 2010 over at Homestead, he had the points lead going in. He spun, he had contact with Biffle, he finished 14th. 2012, Martinsville, he was leading late there, had an electrical issue there. It was a $40 bolt. Literally, you could go down to the local Napa Auto Parts and pick up a $40 bolt was the issue there. He finished 33rd. 2014 at Homestead, he led 50 laps. Then you had the late cautions come in, kind of got him off strategy. He finished 7th behind Kevin Harvick there. 2019 at Homestead, too much grill tape up front, caused some overheating, had an unscheduled pit stop, threw things off, killed their chances there. And then, of course, 2021 at Phoenix, you had Kyle Larson had that great pit stop right at the end there in that first stall, jumped out in front of him. Then he ends up finishing 3rd. So what can go wrong has gone wrong for the 11 here with a chance to win a championship. Listen, he's got his 60th win this year. He seems like he's more locked in than ever before. He's got 6 wins. Obviously, it's a situation with his father. It seems like there's some health situations there. He's been really emotional about that the last few weeks. You know that he wants to do everything possible to get this one for him, his family, and his father as well. He's definitely going to be dialed in and motivated here. Obviously, those equipment issues got to be in the back of your mind, especially given the issues that he's had trying to get a championship to come home. But I like Denny this week. I love a top 3 finish at plus 120 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, plus 120 on DraftKings. And I'm also going to go ahead and tell you, I got a ticket on him as well to win this damn thing. Let's just go out and say, you know what? This is my chance. This is my opportunity. I'm not going to put it in anyone else's hands. I'm going to win this race. I'm going to get this championship. You can get him right now at plus 430 on FanDuel, plus 430 on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now for Denny Hamlin. So I like him. I think he's going to come away with this championship. As you can see, I like the Toyotas this week. I like Chase Briscoe to finish top 3. I think the Hendrick cars will probably be in the top 10 and they'll be in the mix. Hopefully nobody has anything freak happen and gets taken out by something that they can't control. Hopefully it's good racing for all 4 guys, but I like the Toyotas here. I like the, where Gibbs has been in this playoffs. I just worry about the part consistency, about the mechanical breakdowns. But give me Denny at plus 430 to win this race. And hey, there's a couple other guys, like we mentioned, Joey Logano earlier. He's not in a situation where he can win a championship, but he's in a situation where he can end this season on a high note by getting a win at a track that he's been consistent at. So I got him for my long shot. Another guy I got a ticket on, Ryan Blaney. Obviously, the heartbreak, not getting into the 4. You got William Byron getting in over him. This guy's a former series champion here. He knows what to do. Obviously, these Penske cars are always fast here at Phoenix. This was a situation where everyone thought, hey, these Penske cars can get here. It's going to be all them. He's a defending champion. You go back and you look in this next gen era, Penske, they won 22. Penske's the defending champion. Blaney won the series title in 23, but Penske won here in 23 with Blaney, 22 and 24 with Logano. Not having a Penske car to mix with a championship, they're going to be feeling some sort of way. The pride's hurting a little bit. They're going to want to go and show a good showing out and say, hey, we didn't get what we wanted to get done this year. We still had a good season. We want to roll things over and take some positives going into 26 and go from there. Here's another thing. He's never won at Phoenix outside the championship race. So kind of the Joey Logano situation here. It's either like boom or bust for that. And of course, he had engine failure back during the spring race. Before that, he had a top 5 in 7 straight Phoenix races. Of course, that engine went out on him earlier this year, so something to keep in the back of the mind. But hey, he's racing free and clear. And these guys who are not in championship contention, they could take a little bit more. They could take a few more chances. Some of these guys are vying for a championship. If you're Bell, if you're Briscoe, if you're Larson, if you're Byron, you Hamlin, you really got to wonder, not Bell, Briscoe, Byron, Larson, Hamlin. There we go. You really got to wonder, are they going to make that extra pass? Obviously, late in the race, if there's an opportunity, but 70 laps left. Are they going to maybe take a chance? Maybe they're going to let things come to them a little bit. Not necessarily push that envelope until they really positively have to. For a guy like Ryan Blaney, He's not in a championship four. He doesn't have to worry about it. Joe Logano, same thing. They're not in a championship four. They don't have to worry about it. They have an opportunity to roll the dice and go out here and be aggressive and end their season on a high note. And also, another guy, Christopher Bell at plus 850. And I'm sorry, I think this should be the favorite. I think getting Christopher Bell at plus 850 right now on DraftKings is an absolute steal. Listen, he is dominant on these type of racetracks. He's got that technology. Obviously, his car is going to be set up very similar to Denny Hamlin, and you know they're going to throw everything they can at that 11 to get Denny that championship there, and also Briscoe as well. That 11 and 19 are going to be set up very similar. He's the other car there. They got Ty Gibbs as well, but he's not running the same way these three guys are. Christopher Bell's going to have a great setup. You just got to worry about the parts consistency, but this is a track where he's been great at throughout his career, and I think this is a real steal if you can get him at plus 850 right now on DraftKings. He's won the last two spring races here, and of course, he beat Denny in that photo finish earlier this year in the spring race. And you go back and you look at his championship four history at Phoenix. He was 10th in 22, had that brake failure in stage 2 of 23. As I talked about, his JGR teammates Hamlin and Briscoe are in the mix here. I really like this. I think it's great value having a guy who won here before. He knows how to get it done, and a guy who's obviously feeling some sort of way, didn't make the championship four. His season didn't end the way he wants it to. He wants to go out on a high note here. So I love Christopher Bell at plus 850. And honestly, I think this should be the favorite to win the race. The fact that you can get this guy on this track at plus 850, I think it's a steal. Just like if you got in on Ross Chastain earlier for a top 10 at plus money, I think that's a steal too. So, all right, just to recap, my thoughts for this weekend, the season finale here for NASCAR, Christopher Bell plus 850 for a win on the DraftKings. I got Ryan Blaney for a win at plus 700 on FanDuel. I got Denny Hamlin, who I think will be our series champion, plus 430 for a win on FanDuel. I also like him for a top 3 at plus 120 on DraftKings. Give me Chase Briscoe for a top 5, minus 105 on DraftKings. I really think these Gibbs cars are going to be dialed in this week in Phoenix. Ross Chastain, top 10, minus 105 on FanDuel. Of course, I got that at plus money earlier on FanDuel earlier today. Daniel Suarez, top 10, his last race for Trackhouse, plus 1,300. I'm telling you, it's a long shot play, but this is a track he has done well at in the past. Wants to close things out in a good book with Trackhouse and start things off with Byron next year with some positive momentum. So a top 10 for him at plus 1,300. And then also give me Joey Logano for my long shot win at plus 1,200. Those Penske cars have always done well here. This is a track that he has done well, but it has been feast or famine. So we'll see. Plus 1,200 on BetMGM for Joey Logano. All right, well, that's going to wrap things up for this show this evening. Once again, make sure if you haven't already checked out the Let's Not Do This podcast, we broke down Ravens and Dolphins Thursday Night Football. We got some other college football plays and everything in there as well, so make sure to check that out. And also join us right back here at 9 a.m. Saturday morning doing lines. We're going to get you ready, our best plays for college football and NFL this weekend. So until then, we'll see you when we see you. Take care.